Today, you're going to need a couple heavy objects, be they dumbbells, kettlebells, 2 equally heavy objects will do. I'll even show you how to get by with just 1 heavy object. Your body and a timer. I believe that's all we need. No bench, no chair, no nothing. I'm going to start you with a nice warm-up here. We've got 3 rounds of 3 movements and then a kind of a finisher on that warm-up. The first movement is shin boxes and forward folds. So shin boxes, get down on the ground. Kind of start in a butterfly position with your feet wide. You're going to roll your right knee to touch the ground, and then you're going to fold over toward the foot that's still out. Come back, bring that foot back, and then touch that left knee to the ground. You will notice flexibility issues from one side to the other. Mine is the left one. But anyway, you're going to do 3 each side on these. Shin boxes and fold overs as best you can. If you can't fold over, just do the shin boxes. After that, you're doing 6, that's right, 6 overhead good mornings. That just means put your hands overhead. Nice straight line, everything stacked from here down to your hips. And then you're gonna push your hips and butt back, come down, keeping everything straight from the pelvis up. And as soon as your hips stop going back, you come back up. Boom. Good hamstring stretch there. All right, 6 of those. Then you're gonna do 9, yes, 9 reverse lunges. That's 9 each leg, so that's a total of 18. Reverse lunge starts with a step back, keeping that kind of 90-90, and up, back, up, back, up. Again, 9 each of those, total of 18. Once you've done 3 rounds of all those 3 movements, then you're going to do 60 seconds of high knees. Now, high knees are meant to be a fast movement. So when you're doing them in place especially, you can put your hands up as targets if you want, but they should be fast, knees as high as you can get them. Okay, 60 solid seconds, 1 minute of those is your finisher for the warm-up. All right, press pause, and I'll see you on the other side of those high knees. Welcome back. For strength, today we have, again, 2 supersets. The first superset involves goblet squats. We're going to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 goblet squats. Rest for 30 seconds. Then we're going to do Turkish Get-ups. Turkish Get-ups, 4 sets of 2 to 3 each side on the Turkish Get-ups. Rest for 30 seconds. Go back to those goblet squats. So I'll go over those first 2 movements on the superset, and then I'll do the second superset with you. All right, so the first movement of that first superset is a goblet squat. So whether it's a dumbbell, kettlebell, whatever you have, any random heavy object, you just want to get it up into that racked position called the goblet position. Elbows are in, object is kind of resting in your chest there. Find your squat stance. Start with the butt back, down to parallel or just below, and then back up. Keeping that midline stable, keeping that object racked. Boom, goblet squats. 12 to 15 of those. The next movement is called a Turkish Get-up. This has a lot of steps to it, so bear with me. You're also welcome to do these without weight to start. If that's where you need to start, there's no shame in that. Let's do it right. Okay, so for the Turkish Get-up, you're gonna lay on the ground. Try this at an angle for you. Whichever side you're lifting first, this time it's, for me right now, it's gonna be the right side. If this right arm is up, this right leg is up, or knee is up. All right, so you're basically starting from the press position. Press that object up over your head, and the whole time you're doing this movement, guys, you're going to be looking at this object that you're pressing up. So you're going to basically be looking at the ceiling the whole time. All right, so from here we sit up. You can use that elbow, that left elbow, to sit up, no problem there. Then you plank that left arm out, kick the hips up, still looking at that object above your head, shoot the leg under, that left leg under, getting into that lunge position, 90-90, and then from here all you have to do is stand it up. All right, everything's nice and stacked, and then you reverse that movement. So the first thing that happens is you lunge down, get back into that 90-90, plank, plant the hand, the left hand, still looking up at that object, shooting that leg back out and through, butt down, drop to the elbow, left elbow, then drop all the way down. Object comes here, switches over to the opposite hand, and repeat. All right, so then now it's in my left hand, left knee goes up, this hand, right hand goes down, press the object up above your head, looking at that object, sit up, use that elbow if you want, looking at that object still, plank out that right hand, kick the hips up, shoot the leg under, get into that 90-90 lunge position, and stand it up, then reverse it, come on back down. Okay, so that's Turkish Get-Up. You're gonna do 2 or 3 reps of those. I challenge you to do all 3, each side. Rest for 30 seconds, go back to those goblet squats. That's superset number 1. After superset number 1, you do 4 sets of each of those 2 movements. Rest for 60 seconds. Rest for 60 seconds between those supersets. The second superset involves goblet reverse lunges. So just like in the goblet squat, bring that object up, rack it, bring it up to your chest, rack it, elbows are in, and then again with the reverse lunges, you step backwards and come back up. All right, so that's that first movement of the second superset. You're doing 8 to 10 reps per leg on those. So that would be 16 to 20 total reverse lunges. Rest for 30 seconds after that. Go to the dumbbell lateral raise or heavy object lateral raises. The lateral raise is basically a shoulder exercise. Bring them out to a T and back down. Lateral raise. You can do them standing. I like to engage the core. Do them standing. You can do them seated. Your core is still engaged. So for those lateral raises, you're doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 each, resting for 30 seconds, going back to those goblet reverse lunges that you were doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 each, resting for 30 seconds, and so on until you've done 3 sets of both of those movements. All right, let's press pause and come on back for conditioning after that. All right, welcome back after that strength. For conditioning today, we've got 2 separate Tabatas. That's our 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest for 8 rounds. The rest is definitely in quotation marks on this one. The first movement is air squats. Those you know are these. The trick is that when we rest, you're gonna do 20 seconds of those. When we're resting for 10, we're resting in the squatted position for 10 seconds and then going back into air squats for another 20 seconds for 8 rounds. So rest is figurative in this scenario. After that, you've got another Tabata of glute bridges. You're going to rest 60 seconds between these two Tabatas. And with the glute bridges, those are on the ground, heels towards your butt, hips up, weights out of your way, and down and up for those glute bridges, hips to the sky. The trick is here, for our 10 seconds rest, we're holding at the top. 10 seconds and then going back into 20 more seconds of glute bridges. So these are gonna get hard. Push yourselves through them. So hopefully you've downloaded one of the timers in our description so you can just hit the Tabata function. Again, that's 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. In this case, the rest is in a hold position. If you do not have a Tabata timer, that's no sweat. Just start a running clock, and then you're just gonna have to do a little math in your head, make sure it's visible. Do the first 20 seconds of work, that 10-second static hold. You'll be at the 30-second mark, another 20 seconds of work, another 10 seconds hold, you'll be at the even minute mark, and so on. You can use a running clock, you just have to watch it, do the math. Yeah, so press pause, have fun with this. It's gonna get hard, you gotta push yourself through it, but I have faith in you. All right, welcome back for a very necessary cool down. You always have the option to do the shutdown challenge before you do this cool down. It's in the description below. Today's cool down involves the lizard pose. You're gonna do 30 seconds each side on that one. You can do that dynamic or static. And then the world's greatest stretch. With the world's greatest stretch, we're gonna rest 30 seconds in each pose. I'm gonna show you that now. So start with the world's greatest stretch, get in that plank position, then bring your right foot on the outside of that right hand. You're gonna leave that left hand planted. You're gonna lift that right hand up and try to bring that right elbow to the ground. That is a very strong word, try. Not everybody should be able to, so don't worry about it if you can't, but the point is you're stretching this area right here. Your hamstring, your groin area is opening up. So we're gonna hold this position for about 30 seconds. So from this position, you're gonna go into a pigeon pose. So you can leave that left arm planked and just bring that leg under. Right leg under. Lower yourself onto your elbows if you can. If you can bring your head down, great. But you're gonna hang into this pigeon pose for 30 seconds. You can kind of rock back and forth. Take deep breaths, try to stretch lower each time, but hold that position for about 30 seconds. After the pigeon, come on up into a straight leg. Hamstring stretch, bring that toe up. If you can reach that toe, pull it toward you, and you're stretching this, holding this position for about 30 seconds. If you want to do a more dynamic release and stretch for that 30 seconds, you can. And then lastly, keeping that foot forward, you're gonna work into a hip flexor stretch. Bring those hands overhead, push them toward the ceiling and lower, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. I'll switch sides for you just so you can see. Again, hands toward the ceiling, lower the leg, arch the back, feeling that stretch here. And hold for about 30 seconds for that pose. And then do the opposite side. Again, holding 30 seconds for each of those poses of the world's greatest stretch. All right, for that lizard pose, you're gonna get down on the ground. You're gonna have your right leg is forward, left hand on the ground. You're gonna grab that left foot with your right hand. And then you're gonna kind of ease forward, stretching that hip flexor area and that quad attachment, and just kind of leaning forward into that. Now you can gradually hold and breathe, and every time you exhale, try to stretch a little further for 30 solid seconds. Or you, again, can go dynamic with that and release the tension, go back in. Trying to get a deeper stretch, though, each time on that hip flexor front area. I'll do it with the opposite leg. You might get a better view. So again, grabbing your right foot with your left hand, and just bringing that left foot forward so that you can kind of lean in and stretch that hip flexor area. Really good quad stretch here too. And if you can, bring that chest up high. And again, you can either do that static, trying to stretch a little deeper each breath, or releasing and dynamically going deeper. So that is the lizard pose. That's your cool down for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining Mitten Fitness, CrossFit Dexter, for these quarantine, stay home, get ripped workouts. Welcome back. Now for the shutdown challenge. The reps will be in your description. I'm going to demo the movements right now. First, you have ab mats. If you don't have an ab mat, you can use a folded sweatshirt. You can even use a couch pillow, small pillow. Tuck that object of cushion, lumbar support up against your tailbone. Feet face each other. Your legs are in the butterfly position. Back, touch the ground, up. Make sure your shoulders cross the plane. That's an ab mat sit-up. Next, after that is lunges. It's pretty straightforward. Try to find that 90 in the knee. Don't track too far over the toe. Stand back up. Same thing. Alternate legs. Make sure that stride's wide enough to find that 90. After lunges, push-ups. Push-ups look like this. Chest to the ground, if you can. Knees, if you can't do feet from the foot position. And if you need to scale even further, find a bench, ottoman, chair, and do the push-ups to the bench. And last but not least, we have burpees. Burpees. Drop to the floor, jump up. Or up downs or squat thrusts, plank out, up. Okay? Enjoy that challenge. We'll see you tomorrow for the next stay at home get ripped workout. Thanks so much, you guys. Hey folks, really appreciate you tuning in. Please do us a favor, press that like button, subscribe, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, like us, follow us.